Hi everyone. Today we're working on the law of sines. So, an important thing to notice is that we are moving away from right triangles. And really good news is that the law of sines works with any triangle, right? So, we don't have to have a right triangle in order for this to work. So, first things first, I want you to take a look at this section here. We go ahead and pause the video. And when you pause it, I want you to see if you can start to see a pattern between what we have here and what you see on the triangle. Go ahead. All right, so the first thing you might notice is the colors, right? So we have the blue ones here, right? And I have one blue side and one blue angle. And I can see those numbers, same numbers, 10.46 and 117 in here. I see the green, right? The green angle and the green side. I see those right here. And the orange angle and the orange side. I see those here. Something else I might notice is that the answers are all the same, right? So the answers are the same. Something I notice is that sign is on the bottom each time, right? And it's with the angles. And then I also have the sides are on top, right? So what you're seeing here is really interesting. If we have a side and it's across from the angle, the relationship between that side and that angle is the same as the relationship between this side and this angle, this side and this angle, and it's the same as this angle and that side over there, right? So super, super interesting that they all equal the same. So this is what's called the law of sines, and you should write this down on your paper. We have sine A over A is equal to sine B over B, which is equal to sine C over C. What this basically means is that the angles, when we use sine with the angles and we divide it over the sides, they are all equal to each other. It's a cool relationship that we have with triangles. We can also flip this over if we want, right? We can also there's another version of it, which would be A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C, right? So we can put the angles on the bottom if we want and the sides on top if that's more helpful to us. Okay. So the first thing that we want to think about is which side goes with which angle, right? And it's always their opposites. So three equal fractions in this case here. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to in order to draw this triangle. One that we would have is like 77 degrees goes with 6.23. So I could write 6.23 over sine 77. So these ones here are going together. That's a pair. And then I could say that's equal to 42 and 4.27 over sine 42. Those are equal to each other. And then we have a third pair, this one and that one together, right? So side 5.56 over sine 61. If we put this in our calculator, this in our calculator, and this in our calculator, we'd get basically the same thing for each of one of these, right? So the pairs are all equal to each other. So if we are trying to solve a problem like this one, go ahead and take a moment to draw your triangle. We have angle 47, angle 34, and then these are actually our sides. So we can write them on the outside where they go, 5.67 and A. So it says, what is side A? I'm trying to find out what side A equals. So I'm going to put A on top. What angle does A go with? A is straight across, right? A, this side over here, is straight across from angle 47. So I would say A over sine 47. Remember, degrees always goes with sine, right? That is equal to, I need a second pair, right? So I have my second pair here, I have my angle 34 and 5.67. So I'm gonna look here, my sides on top, 5.67 over sine 34 degrees. Super important to note, if you put sides on top, they have to stay on top, right? Both of them have to be sides. In this case, these are my sides. And then if angles are on the bottom, it's put angles on the bottom like that, right? So we know how to erase this so we can keep doing our problem. These are our angles. All right, so if I want to solve this right here, I have to get A by itself. Right now, I see A divided by sine 47. The opposite of dividing by sine 47 is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply by sine 47. What I do on one side, I also have to do on the other, like this. So I have sine 47 over sine 47. That is going to cancel and leave me with just A equals, and I'm going to plug all of this in my calculator. So I'm going to pull up handy dandy Desmos. First things first, check that it is in degrees. So you're going to click on this little tool, go down to degrees, put it in degrees. So then I need to do this part in my calculator. So I'm going to use parentheses, 5.67 divided by sine. Remember, I click functions, sine 34. And then on the outside, I'm going to click over here on the outside of this parenthesis. I'm going to have sine again. I'm multiplying times sine 47. You can also put like a little multiply sign in there if you want. So I get this number here, and I'm going to use one decimal place, 7.4, right? 7.4. The 1 is not going to round up my 4, so I have 7.4. That is my side A, right? 7.4. It makes sense to me because 47 is a little bit bigger than 34. So the side that goes with it should be a little bit bigger than this side, 5.67. All right. So that is if we want to solve for a side. All right, so my first step is to write the pairs. Right, and my second step is to solve for A. So my first step was to write these pairs here. My second step, multiply by sine 47. Okay. Go ahead and draw this triangle here. And this time we're going to solve for an angle. All right, so my first step again is to find the pairs. Finding the pairs, so I have B, and it is straight across from this one here. So I have those two are together. And then I also have 88, and it is straight across from this side over here. That's 6.08 should be on the outside, just like that, right? 6.08. So I have those ones straight across here like this, right? So I have two pairs here. I also have this angle on this side, but I don't have any numbers, so I'm going to ignore them for right now. So I want to find angle B. Remember, B always has to go with sine because it is an angle. So this time I have angles on top, right? So B goes with 4.53. 4.53. This is my green pair, right? My green pair. And that is going to be equal to the other pair. I have, since the angles are on top, since B is an angle, angles on top, I'm going to put angles on top again. So sine 88 degrees, right? Angles on top over my side, which is 6.08. This is my yellow pair from the triangle, right? So yellow goes with yellow. All right, now I need to do my second step, which is to solve for b, right? I want to get b by itself. So right now I see divide by 4.53. The opposite of divide is multiply, 4.53 on both sides, 4.53. 4.53 divided by 4.53 cancels out, leaves me with sine b equals, and now I'm going to do this part in my calculator. So I'll clear out this, put parentheses, sine 88, go out of my parentheses, press divide, 6.08. And now on the outside of my parentheses, right, I'm going to put times 4.53, like that. And it's going to give me this decimal, 0.07446, right, long decimal, right? You might be thinking that's a funny angle. That is a funny angle. That's because this isn't an angle. This is sine of that angle. So you might remember, in order to get rid of sine, what do I have to do? I have to use sine inverse, sine -1, right? I'm going to do that on both sides, sine -1, like that. Sine -1 and sine will cancel, leave me with just b equals, and now I need to do sine -1 of this whole thing. So I have two options. The first one is to go to functions, go to sine -1, and type in my number 0.744611915526. It's like a phone number. I get my answer here. The other option is to put big parentheses around this and then go back to the beginning here. Put sine inverse of that whole thing. Whew, looks like this. And I get 48. I get the same exact number. So you have two options there. You can do either one. So I get this as my answer, 48.125. I'm going to use one decimal, 48.1. 48.1. Remember, this is an angle, so it should have degrees here as the answer. All right, so my first step was to find the pairs in the triangle. I'm going to write it as an equation. My second step was to solve for b by itself. Okay. That's it for today, and we're going to jump into our assignment, and I will see you soon. Ask whatever questions you have. Thanks. Like, comment, subscribe.